Kowalski. I am proud to be a gay man, a resident of Harvey, and the director of the Harvey Historical Society. I'm proud that my family has been in the Harvey area for more than 100 years. My great uncle, yay, let's hear for longtime Harvey residents.
All right.
My great uncle and his parents started a flower stand in the 1940s that later grew into Wasso's grocery store. The plaza still bears his name. I am proud, because that's our theme, I'm proud to say that he and his sons employed many in Harvey. They gave back to the community, and they even allowed families to buy food on credit when they couldn't afford to otherwise. My Polish grandfather and his 9 children attended church and school at Ascension St. Susanna on Myrtle. We have some Myrtle Avenue residents here tonight. Woo! Just a few blocks west of here. I'm proud to say that Ascension was one of the first major Catholic parishes in the Southland to integrate racially. Sadly, everybody go boo. Boo. Mayor Clark and Alderman Drewinski, Smith, Randall L., and Rogers don't share this same prize for our community. Instead, they and many other politicians in Harvey and in the Southland choose to bully, harass, lie, and intimidate. Wow, isn't that horrible? Give another boo. Boo! By the way, the mayor won't even let us boo in there. Isn't that horrible? Why would they do this? Well, it's simple. They want our money, they want our land, and they want power. Mayor Clark and his 4 alder yes-men, as I love to call them, they want to demolish the Ascension Church for money. They demolished 3 historic buildings right across the street here on Broadway instead of working with local investors who wanted to fix them up. They voted to displace 15 families next to Ascension so Clark could build a park that we didn't ask for and we don't want. Just in the past few weeks alone, you've heard about 2 shootings, a serious mauling, and more unexplained fires. When we ask them to show us how they're spending our money, what happens? They arrest us, they ticket us, they send our own police to harass us. You might have seen my alderwoman on TV again last week. Do you know what happened to her? What happened to her for the 4th time? She was arrested. And she didn't do anything wrong, right? She was just trying to do her job, just advocating for the residents. I was arrested last year for recording a public meeting. Now, however, on April 28th, they took it to a new level. During a city council meeting, Mayor Clark committed an even worse crime. He publicly and falsely alleged that I abused a child when I was a teacher at the high school. Not only is this not true, but Mayor Clark deliberately shared this lie to distract from his own life. Speaking of distractions, they even called an opposing press conference tonight. Talk about a distraction. So he's okay doing this. How do you think that affects other LGBT people in the Southland? Does that make people feel welcome? Are they going to want to spend money here? Our LGBT, our Latino, our Indian, our other all sorts of youth, they're not going to want to move back to Harvey or to a Southland that hates them for being different. Our towns will eventually die. Being gay or different does not mean that you molest children. Let me say that again. Just because you're gay or you're a little different, maybe you got some piercings, maybe you got some colored hair, you got some tattoos. Ooh, okay. For some people, that's a big deal. But that doesn't mean that you molest children. Did you hear that? It doesn't mean you make others gay or make them different against their will. That lie, Mayor Clark, invites people to hurt, and even kill LGBT folks and others who might not fit in. So let me make that clear. No one else in the city of Harvey has the mayor come out publicly and accused them of a sexual crime against children. Let me say that again. No one else. He's arrested us, he's ticketed us, he's done all sorts of things, but I'm the only one, and I happen to be openly gay, that he has publicly accused of a sexual crime against children. Why, I ask you? Suicide and homelessness rates are much higher for LGBT people of color than for the rest of the population. You know that? So why do we have a mayor falsely accusing a gay man of sexual crime? Actually, I have another question for you. Why do we have Alderman Tyrone Rogers, who has been charged repeatedly with violent sexual crimes? Let me say it again. Violent sexual crimes. And this is not rumor. Google it. He has been charged, okay? Not allegedly. He has been charged. Go Google it. So why is he laughing at the mayor's remarks about me? Why is the Alderwoman Delaney Smith, yes, I'm naming names, because this is what happens when you come after me. tell Delaney Smith. You work for Illinois Children and Family Services. I'll say it again. Alderwoman Delaney Smith, you work for Illinois Children and Family Services. Why are you spreading false allegations of sexual crimes against children? I think somebody should look into that, don't you think?
Yes.
Wow, that's right. She's a mandated reporter of child abuse. So, wow, if she's throwing around false allegations of sexual crimes against children, this is not good. This Pride Month, we're calling on the state, county, and feds to investigate these horrible bullying policies. Today, we come together as the LGBT community, as Harvey, as the Chicago Southland, as fellow humans, right? I don't care what you look like, your race, your age, your ethnicity, what language you speak. We're all human. We're all worthy of dignity and love and respect. We stand together against hate and the bullies who continually try to silence us and want us to live in fear. What do we say to that? We say, no. So tell those bullies no, everybody, right? We say, no. We say, no. We say, no. We will not be bullied. Look at Alderwoman Chapman. She's here. She has her head held high. Arrested 4 times for doing nothing wrong. We don't care. You can come for us all you want, and we're going to be together just like this. That's the message we want to get out today. We refuse to live in fear. Are you going to live in fear?
No!
We're taking back our communities. We stand together to protect each other. Remember, your silence will not protect you. Sometimes you think, I'll stay under the radar, nobody will bother me, but that's not working. I know some of you, you're afraid, especially Harvey residents, but Southland residents, you're afraid. You're afraid to come to meetings. But come to meetings. Post on social media. Vote. Run for office and meet others who will join hands with you. Will you all join hands with them if they come out?
Yes!
Tell them again. Will you join hands with them if they come out to meetings?
Yes!
All right. So we're here for you guys. Let's speak up for those who get ignored, trampled on, abused, and neglected by the bullies of this world. This Pride Month, make your voice heard to make Harvey in the Southland a welcoming place for everyone.
Everyone!
So thank you all again for being here. Let's start with Alderwoman Chapman, since she is our city elected official. Did you want to share? Please feel free to give us an update, whatever you'd like to do.
I'd first like to say Happy Pride Month. I stand here.
Yes.
I just like to say Happy Pride Month. I stand here committed to differences. The differences that are united underneath one body, all with the same purpose, to just simply refine Harvey, bring it back to its roots of connection, unity, camaraderie, and change. So I stand here, I'm thankful to stand with these residents, I'm thankful to stand with Ryan as he boldly steps out on his advocacy and standing for what's right, because this community is for all people. So whatever's good for America must be great for the city of Harvey. I said whatever's good for America must be also just as great for the city of Harvey.
All right. Woo! All right. Woo!
Thank you. That is an Alderwoman. She has really been treated horribly, and no one deserves that. Anybody else? Anybody else want to share?
Hello, everybody. My name is Berserk Irvin, former trustee of the Harvey Public Library. I'd like to address something that is really troubling about the city of Harvey and our mayor, the way that he's running things. Truth and justice have been thrown out the window. Robert's rule of order on how you maintain a meeting has been kicked to the curb. And the sad part about all this is he's an attorney, and then we have a law firm that's working for us who stand by idly and let him do these things to us just so they can continue to get money from us. And then in the back rooms, they sit back and laugh and talking about how stupid we are to have a mayor like him to allow something like this happening. Harvey Chapman has been trying to do her job since day one that she was elected on alderman of the 2nd Ward. She has not disrupted a meeting. She has followed Robert's Rules of Order. All she's asked is for a voice in order to get questions answered, in which they refuse to answer. And that lets you know that they're doing something wrong. When you see somebody doesn't want to answer questions, they're doing wrong themselves. All these arrests, this is crazy. The whole thing is crazy. Why would they be doing something like, and again, I'll refer back to the law firm that represent us, that go along with this crap. This is just totally stupid. And we the taxpayers, in the end, after all this stuff goes down, end up paying for all this. It's our tax dollars that are going to the law firms that they're using to fight all these cases and all these things that they're doing. And this is not the way to run the city. To Clark, this is about winning at any cost. That you got the wrong ideal. It's supposed to be about truth and justice and what is right. Not just winning, because when you say you want to win, that means that there's no guidelines, that it's just whatever you want to win. It don't have nothing to do with truth. It don't have anything to do with what's right. It don't have anything to do with what the people really need. And he's not addressing any of that. So I hope with us banding together and speaking out and saying what really happened and what's really going on in this city, that things will change and they'll get better.
Right, and you're gonna have to wrap it because they making you move. So people can park. They just want to park. So they just want to park. They just want to have some place to park. The meeting's about to start, and we just want people to be able to park and pull it inside the lot. 621. Inside the lot.
Yeah, what time is it?
Right? So she
Maybe to get the safe
I
side.
take she go right.
You can. Yeah, because I'll put my stock away and then yeah, we'll go. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna open about 6:45 or 6:50. Okay, all right, no problem at all. I hope you're wearing a body cam, but I'm gonna tell him that man, he's wrong.
Live uncut, unedited. They stopped it, people. So we're going over to the Kobe. Alderman.
Push that to the forefront. Institutions like right now, we should have an abundance of summer programs going on across the city to just support our young people, give them some hope and opportunity. And that's the main focus. How do we get a grocery store here? You know, we're a food desert. How do we get a pharmacy here? How do we get viable businesses here so we can flip our $164 million debt that the mayor often speaks about, and so we can make a pivot on the perspective of Harvey. You know, right again, you know, a lot of people see desperation, but where folks see desperation, I truly see a lot of hope. We are truly the roads growing through the concrete. So stay tuned for the very bold moves that we'll make collaboratively. As you see residents here today, happy Pride Month, as you saw the residents gather in the namesake of being able to just speak out. There cannot be suppression of voice. I like to just highlight that each time I've been arrested, it's based on me discussing housing and security. Now I'm taking you back all the way to Rudolph Williams, who was unfortunately boarded in his home back in January. Year before that, the Poole-Tingle family displaced is soon to have to leave from their home on 155th and Myrtle. Fast forward over in the Great Second Ward, Miss Allen on 153rd in Myrtle. These are constant housing instances, and I mentioned before, Chicago has 77 neighborhoods, and they don't even have as nearly 5,000 plus abandoned both commercial and residential properties saturated in one particular area. But that's what's going on here. So we got a really big housing issue, and our property taxes have gone up. We have increased fines and fees, and this is a marginalized community simply trying to make it. So we're grateful to have the media, to have the press here to tell our story, to provide some truth and transparency and enlightenment to the things that are plaguing the city. But I'm very grateful because this group and many others are 10 toes down on making the great change.
I just want to ask a quick question. I'm getting thrown into this person I've been covering Harvey, so it's kind of reading some of the background. Everything seems to have stemmed recently from the April 28th meeting, and then the charges that arose initially were misdemeanor charges. Was there a reason given for why the misdemeanor charges were dropped and then the felony charges approved? Have you received any kind of insight on why that happened?
I have not, and I'll defer to my attorney Hamilton for that.
You're about to go in there, sit across, potentially, have to collaborate with Mayor Clark. What are you feeling? What is that like, just from a personal point of view?
You know what? It feels great because today I get another bold opportunity to rally my efforts to vote on what I feel is fluid for the city of Harvey, what's going to support the city of Harvey. I don't have a personal, or as they say, a horse in a race. My horses are all standing here ready to giddy up to what's great, which is transparency and accountability. And so I feel great to just be able to sit and lead as I've been chosen by the 2nd Ward constituency to lead. And so that's what I just want to do. I simply want to do that. And I want to be a symbol of stepping out boldly, even in the midst of adversity, to do what's right and give people a voice. Our people here have been voiceless for so long, and our communities are under attack. And so to be able to stand in the gap and be a wedge and be an anchor in that, I'm overjoyed. I'm grateful. I'm grateful, y'all. I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Do you have any words for the current mayor regarding your mayoral run in 2027?
To stay on the subject of the P, I want us to proactively provoke our passion. So we all have the same idea of community and fellowship and coming together. And I just want us, myself and Mayor Clark, to rally our efforts to move the 2nd Ward in the city of Harvey forward for all the residents, because that's what's needed. It's about it's a time for a lot of love. We need to wrap our loving arms around each other.
You've been arrested 4 times. Your mom's been caught up in this.
Yeah, my mom.
Do you see a possibility of forward in its current state, the way things currently are? I know you felt like you kind of have a bullseye on you. Is it possible to move forward the way things currently are?
Yes, I'm finding the good in bad practices, right? I'm finding the good and goodbye in those practices. And I'm figuring out how do we move forward. So today starts a new day. Today is our first meeting of the month of June. For the next 6 months through the end of 2025, I'm hopeful that there will be no more arrests, that nobody will be silenced because they clapped, that nobody's gonna receive a $500 ticket for talking. We simply want to unify here on the 2nd and 4th Monday at 7 p.m., maybe 6 p.m. if we have a finance committee meeting, and bring together our collaborative ideas, our opportunities, our resources, so that we can make a very bold move to move the city forward. And I'm very excited to be a part of what that trajectory looks like.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I wish I had some of your height.
That's it. That's all. You can have it. All right, y'all. Great job. That's okay. It's all of us together. So.
Yes. We're hoping that she goes for mayor of the city of Harvey, and that will cancel all problems. Because right now, I truly believe the only reason she's being attacked because she's the biggest threat in the city of Harvey for mayor is the whole reason. And the other thing is, she's not fighting for herself. All of these issues of being arrested and had nothing to do with her being wrong. What it has to do with she's trying to seek the truth in the meetings as to know where the money is going and why we don't have a treasurer making a report every month. If you look at the agenda today, you will not see the treasurer's name on the report. What does that mean? An elected treasurer is not being allowed to give a report. So all the funding in Harvey is being hidden from the citizens, and she is coming out with it and saying, I want to know. That's why she's being arrested.
What do you make? What do you make of all this?
What I would make of all this? I call it total illegal operations. In order to hold on to money and to do things financially without allowing a ward alderperson elected to get information on the finance. They kicked her off the finance committee. Why? And they put a person that I ran against myself on the committee, on the finance committee, and he had about 11 felony charges against him for sexual attacks on women. And he's still running. On the day before the election, this last election we had, he was in court and they dismissed that case. In fact, the first judge that tried him is dead. 11 years ago. And this is the best, he said, the mayor said, this is the best Alderperson he's got. You tell me what this is all about.
The fact that a sitting alderwoman has been arrested 4 times, obviously you see it, you see the ins and outs. For people who are on the outside looking in at Harvey, what does it feel like? What does this say about Harvey? What are those feelings that this is what people are seeing of Harvey, that's the taste that they're seeing?
It says that Harvey's not going to settle for the worst, but looking for the best. We're trying to get the best out of our city. We're trying to make all our wards look decent. There's weeds all over the place. There's abandoned buildings. There's buildings over there. They set up before 6 buildings in this city supposed to be community centers. You look at them, only one without weeds around it is sitting over there on 154th Street, and it's not ready yet. Years ago, false promises. Streets to be taken care of, false promises. People promised for fire hydrant to be fixed, false promises. People with prostitutes walking on Halsey Street, false promises. People that instead of boarding up and handling property right, they're tearing the stairs down. They have the police or somebody tearing the stairs down on buildings. Go up to 147th and Halsey, you see what I'm saying. Go down to 147th near Roby, you see what I'm saying. No, this town is not being ran properly. It's a cash fund for a cash cow for a bunch of people who want to play the game and abuse the citizens. We are not putting up with this because I'm voting for Kobe Chapman for Mayor Harvey. I'm supporting her. I'm not playing this game anymore. They can forget it. They can arrest or whatever they want to do. They can stop to shut us up. Look, I fought in the war, in combat, and I'd be daggone if I come home to have to fight for my city because I'm going to fight for it.
What's your name, sir?
King, Melville King, actually Reverend King.
Can you spell it?
Melville.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
What happened? Why did everybody go to the front? Just to clarify, I'm really upset. I worked my ass off to schedule a press conference at 6 p.m. So I don't know what in the hell went on up there, but somebody else purposefully scheduled it to coincide. Because I have a message I want to get out. Hello? We're not going to be bullied. And this kind of division and coming in and trying to make all kinds of trouble, I'm not going to tolerate that. So I don't know who did that, but I am not happy.
I'm gonna tell you why.
I scheduled a press conference at 6 p.m. for right there. And then someone else, I guess, scheduled one for exactly the same time.
What was your press conference?
So anyway, I just wanted to let everybody know we stand united against bullying, against division.
What was your press conference about?
Okay? Bullying
The
and
press over there.
division.
Listen,
And-
press, I want you to see something. Press, I want you to see this. Look over there, how many policemen are coming to a city council meeting.
Right.
Take your cameras and look at that. These are people that sit here in our city council meeting are going to be surrounding us while we're talking.
I probably should, yeah.
Right here.
And how did Mayor
at
Clark
that.
schedule an interview when I already had something
Look at
set
all
up?
those policemen. Look at the command.
You know, that's
Look at all
just
of that.
BS.
That's
Think
for our
so,
city
that's
council
right. We
meeting.
know gays don't matter, blacks don't matter. We don't, yeah, that we're not important. That's okay. We're just a whole bunch of poor people. We're poor, black people. No
Live, uncut, unedited. Harvey Police Department out here. That's right. Hit the like button, people. I need y'all to hit the like button. 27 people on there, 17 likes. Come on, hit that like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Wow.
The lady right there, that's standing there, she told me she couldn't tell me why my sister was being arrested. I saw that.
Hey, back again. All right. Live uncut unedited. People staying online.
Let's go short. Let's go from 4 or 5 police to 14. That's an act of aggression against a community. That's what that is. That's a show of aggression.
They're doing it on purpose.
These people, for what? That's an act of intimidation. That's what that is. This is what they talk about, police states and how people run things. That's an act of intimidation. 4 or 5 officers. Now it's 14. Or who? And what? It's damn as many of them as it is the people. For what? Nobody made no threats.
Right, we out here. Live uncut unedited. You already know what it is.
That's active intimidation and aggression. That's what that is.
Still here.
4 or 5 police officers. 14.
I don't know exactly, but I do know that 7 called me and said that they said, well, wait a few minutes because we're interviewing Mayor Clark.
Okay.
And then, so we waited, but I said, I'm not going to wait again. We started. But that was something not right.
I ain't get one of those.
Say the best. Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
I like that. All right, y'all. We out here. Live uncut unedited. You see what I see, you know what I know.
Capital, you know what?
You gotta go through the side.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Excuse me. I guess they just arrested him. I don't know. Oh, he's going for.
I just want to get the crowd.
I figured somebody's.
Something might pop up on I want to catch.
Because I'll be filming in the back. Video.
I'm definitely going to I'm going to keep him on the camera.
When they come like that, proud.
It's time to flip all these cities.
I agree.
They will.
I'm
Fine as long as you don't have.
I'm in the house.
Won't be no rest while we here. We're gonna rest everybody. I'm going to. No problem with going.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The public has a right to be present in public meetings, except executive session. That is defined by the Illinois Open Meetings Act. Each Harvey public meeting affords members of the public to submit brief written statements or make public comment during the public comment part of the meeting. However, persons in attendance are not allowed to act in an unreasonable manner that alarms or disturbs another or provokes a breach of the peace. This can include making loud or unusual noises, clapping, speaking out, or interrupting during the city council meeting. One may not impede the performance of one's official duties. If any person acts in a disorderly manner at a public meeting and persists after being warned, the mayor as the chairman can order the person to withdraw or be removed from the meeting. If that person refuses conduct at a public meeting in Illinois involves any unreasonable behavior that disturbs others or disrupts the meeting, and it is subject to removal penalties if it persists after a warning. This also includes any city employees or council members. Harvey police officers are present in public city council meetings to assist the chairman in preserving order. If any person is ordered to withdraw or leave the meeting by the mayor and refuses, that person will be cited and criminally charged with disorderly conduct. The Harvey Police Department can escort the person out of the building. If the person refuses to leave and physically resists the Harvey Police Department, that person can also be charged with resisting arrest. Under Illinois law, resisting arrest is defined as knowingly resisting or obstructing the performance by one known, Under Illinois law, resisting arrest is defined as knowingly resisting or obstructing the performance by one known to be a peace officer, firefighter, or correctional institutional employee of an authorized act within his or her official capacity. This constitutes a Class A misdemeanor. The statute requires that the act of resistance must involve some physical act that imposes an obstacle that may impede, hinder, interrupt, prevent, or delay the performance of one's duties. Examples include struggling, wrestling, going limp, or physically aiding a third party to avoid arrest. Illinois law explicitly states that a person is not authorized to use force to resist an arrest by a known peace officer, even if that arrest is believed to be or is in fact unlawful. Resistance of even an unlawful arrest by a known peace officer is a violation of said statute. Thank you.
You got another chair right here. You good? You got another chair for you. Okay. You stand up on mine. Stand up on mine. Next round. Oh, my bad. No, you good. You good, bro. Live on cut. I need shout out to Mac. You can use the chair, stand on top of the chair.
Don't make it hard.
Okay. I didn't know. Okay.
Just sidestep a little bit. We gonna work with you.
Okay. All right. All right. He said sidestep a little bit. We must be standing on the chair last time. Yeah. Right. But I have to be here, bro. You can see it. I can see it. Watch. I can see it, bro. You're going in like a judge. Hit that like button. Getting all this good footage from free.
Alderperson,
The mayor, yeah, that's the mayor. What's it do? It's me, Clark. Christopher Clark.
That's the one we gotta get rid of. We got to go. Burning stuff up all over the place. Black folks do stuff anyway. Everybody see the
I'm gonna cut on it. This is what y'all been waiting on. We got it. Saying it fast. It's live on cut. Make sure y'all share it on the page. You're a counselor too. Yeah, counselor. Right there, sitting up below y'all. Right. Two. There's another guy sitting next to her left. Yeah, Burton. Yeah, just them two.
It's them and him?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2, 3.
No, just her and him.
That white woman is young. treated.
All right, people, now come on with it. You run this like you're a judge. You got a gavel and everything. You ain't playing. There you go.
Cause means order. This is the
Everybody rise.
Council meeting. It is Monday, June 9, 2025, at 7:12 p.m. All of the president's council members, if you'd be so kind as to log in as present.
From the cities, on every level.
We have a quorum. Next item on the agenda is invocation of plan and pledge of allegiance. If everyone bow their heads. Heavenly Father, merciful and gracious God, we come to you saying thank you, O Lord. Knowing that all things come through you, continually asking you for your many blessings, your protection, your guidance, your mercy, and your grace. We thank you, O Lord, for your much favor, because were it not for that, we would not have been able to wake up this morning, Lord. If it were not for you sending your Son, O Lord, we would not have any of that grace or mercy extended to us, O Lord, so that we can have each and every day. We ask, O Lord, that you would allow us to look inside our souls and to find your spirit, so that we may be guided in your will and your way, so that we may be protected, O Lord, from those things that may come and try to block our paths from getting closer to you. We know that you are the most important, and you are the most high, and the most omniscient and omnipresent God. We know that all things flow through you, and we would like to only be a vessel, Lord. So we ask that you bless this council, that you bless this city, that you bring your spirit on it, and you let it rain down and pour on every citizen, oh Lord, and every person that comes within our jurisdiction. We thank you again, oh Lord, and we thank you for continuing to bless us, and we will continue to hold you up high, because you are the magnificent, you are the one and only God, and we need nothing else. This we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
They want to stand up for flag. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And praise the flag.
Well, thank you. All right, next on our agenda, number 4, is a presentation from Emily Dugan from the Get the Lead Out Initiative. Is she present? Hi. Hi. Can you step over here, please? I think there's a microphone and a water.
This on? Perfect. Hi everyone, thank you so much for inviting us here tonight. Thank you especially to Ms. Crystal Richardson, who we've been working with on this project, getting our efforts to identify lead service lines in Harvey started. My name is Emily Dugan. I am a contractor at General Dynamics Information Technology, and I'm here with my colleague today, Misty Pope, who is a senior advisor on this project. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So the Get the Lead Out Initiative, this is an environmental protection agency program that helps the country identify where lead is and accelerate its removal. This is an entirely free program that Harvey opted into in collaboration with General Dynamics to find where lead is, apply for funding to replace it, and again, create a plan on how we're going to actually remove it. So next slide. The commitment of the GLOW initiative is to implement proactive measures to ensure clean, safe drinking water in Harvey. lead can cause significant health issues, specifically to younger and older folks. And so the best way to prevent that is to remove it at its source. We support the identification and the planning of the replacement of this through 4 central things seen up here. First, there's the historical records review. Harvey's gone through much of this already to develop the initial inventory. Then we'll be doing visual inspection. That's mostly what I'm going to be talking tonight, is how we're going to do this visual inspection. There's community engagement planning. That's going to involve everyone in this room to help identify where that is, talk about how we're going to keep your water safe, and then finally, funding and replacement planning. We're currently in the process of doing a replacement plan for Harvey. It's a long process, and I know that Harvey has already worked with an engineer on applying for funding to remove flood service lines. Visual inspection, that's where we're at right now. We really need to know where the lead is, because you can't replace something if you don't know where it is, of course. We're doing that through a few different ways. The first, we want to make sure that we're not just disrupting your water, digging a hole. So the first thing that we're trying to do is have visual inspections through an online survey that you can take. And we have a sign here. You might have seen some of these signs around. Thank you, Water Department, for putting those up. I was so excited to see that. There's a little QR code here, and you can scan that to take the survey online. It takes 3 minutes. There's instructions. You find your water meter, take a photo, submit that. It really, really helps the city. You can also find this survey on the Water Department website too. Someone who likes to stay those of us who are like that. The other thing that we were planning to is to actually have a team out in the field to be going and knocking on homes that we know we're not sure what the material is. So in July, you might see some of us out there will have these yellow vests, a clipboard, and we'll be asking if we can come into your home and look at your basement at what that service line material is. If you don't want some in your home, maybe you don't want to clean up your basement, you have some Christmas decorations all around, you don't want to move the boxes, go ahead and so definitely encouraging people to take. You might see us in July. The next thing that we would move on to is exploratory digging. That's what we call, our general term for anything called potholing. That's where we'll dig a hole in the ground so that we can see the line and identify what that material type is. Harvey has done a great job with their inventory already, and we're looking at some ways that we can actually, use that potholing process to use for some scientific research as well too. So we're really excited about that. But before that happens, you're going to be getting notices. You'll know if your home is going to be one of those that have a pothole in front of it. So it's not the kind of pothole that you drive over and it hurts your car, I promise. And we will be doing restoration afterwards as well too, so you won't have a hole in your yard. All of this, with all of this data, we put this into the inventory. We make a plan for how we're going to replace all these lead lines, and then we go out and apply for funding for that. And next slide. Okay, and this is again too. This is the self-identification survey. Again, we'll leave this here for you too, so if you want to come scan that, you can also go again to the State of Harvey's website. We're developing a lot of different flyers for people to use, so you'll be seeing some of these out. We're planning to send out a school flyer as well too, so we can education on for students involved in identifying where the lead is. So you might be seeing these at church, your school, in your mailbox. Just wanted to remind you for that. Next slide. Engagement is a huge part of this, so we are going to be engaging you through every step of the process. We're not just going to show up at your home without any type of warning, asking to get into your basement. We want you to know that we're coming. So we'll have some signs out, some social media material when we're coming. So that's kind of our logo design. I'm just trying to get you all prepared for that. And then we'll go to the next slide. We're also going to be showing up at some events in Harvey too. So we'll have this table. This is for a community in Ohio. Harvey has their own tablecloth shoot that we're designing right now. We have fun little games, activities, resources about lead, how you can reduce your risk for lead, how to self-identify. So you'll be seeing us out this summer. Next slide. This is my favorite part of our community engagement. We really like to distract the kids, get them over there. We have buttons, lots of coloring books and things. So just so you know, we will be trying to encourage your children to come over and talk to us, and we can talk to the parents, so just be aware of that. And next slide. And again, more examples of our community engagement things. So if you see us out this summer at a community event, come say hi and chat with us. And next slide. So what happens if we do find lead? In the Chicagoland area, there is obviously a lot of lead. We're expecting that we will find more as we go through this process. But what we're going to do is we're going to be working hard with you to make sure, one, that you're safe. We're going to be giving information on filters, on how to run your tap water to avoid the risk of ingesting more lead. We're going to support the community in identifying and applying for more grants so that it can speed up the timeline for how this lead is being removed from the water system. And we'll help work with the community to create plans just to keep you and your family safe. Next slide. And finally, this is my pitch for everyone. Harvey's participation in GLOW requires action. I want to speak as well to the aldermen and women too. We encourage you to speak with your wards and your constituents about the survey and about door knocking, letting them know, take this survey so that we can find this, so that we can speed up the timeline for replacing lead service lines in Harvey, and letting them be aware that we're going to be out in the community to doing some door knocking in July. So connect with this, everyone here too, if you have a family member who hasn't taken the survey yet, go home and let them know to take that so we can get their information in there, and be sure to visit the city's water page so they can get more information. Every record we review, every visual inspection that we do in the community gets us one step closer. So just thank you all for your participation, and again, thank you for allowing Missy and I to come and speak with you tonight. And then the last slide, I think, is just the survey again. So really pushing the survey. Thank you. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take them. Yes.
6-1.
Thank you for your presentation. I'd like to know about the timeline, and will you be working in conjunction with the Harvey Water Department as you're visiting residents' homes, especially seniors?
Yes. We're actually, Crystal and I have been talking with other community organizations as well, and with organizations that are working with Harvey seniors, so that we're not surprising them. There's a person that they know coming to the door with us, so that they know that, okay, this is trusted, this is okay by the city. We're working very closely with the water department.
And how will we determine whether or not that these houses, some of the more older houses, actually have lead in them? I mean, do you have to go in the house to make that determination?
So the city did a great job with the inventory, the initial inventory. They did a records review of this, and they're presuming that based on the house date that it would be lead. We're going to be doing some of those. We're going to be sampling some of those, not all of them. We're still working on the exact plan for that, but we do still have quite a few that we're not sure what the material is, so we need to go and actually go into those homes to inspect that.
And in your humble opinion, about what kind of timeline are we looking at as far as this process from beginning to end?
Your participation in GLOW, that's only for the year, but for the replacement of all of the lead service lines, currently as it stands, we're looking at that's 2037 is when that needs to be completed. I don't want you to quote me on that. There's still some changes in the lead and copper rule going on that need to be approved, but that's about the time.
2037. Thank you.
First one.
37.
Thank you. My question is I noticed some of the posters are written in Spanish. Do you have all your literature, including your flyers, in Spanish and your programs in Spanish?
Definitely have that. If you would like us to translate this presentation, that is something that we could do as well. So that could be given to you in Spanish. I didn't prepare with that tonight, but it's ready to go.
Okay, great. Thank you. I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Right there.
Hearing none, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yep. All right, next item for business is approval of ordinances and resolutions of the city of Harvey. 5 on business, 9-5B new business, B1, a motion to approve the release and settlement agreement between Eddie Winters and the city of Harvey. This motion authorizes the agreed upon settlement for Eddie Winters, the city of Harvey, for case number 20-CD-2248. Motion by the sixth and the second by the third. Is there any debate? Hearing none, you may cast your votes. Motion carries. There is no resolution for that. Number two is a resolution authorizing the award and execution of an independent contractor agreement for construction services between the City of Harvey and Calumet City Plumbing. This resolution authorizes the removal of existing water meters located either in the valve box or valve vault in city right-of-way or residence homes, and replacement with smart water meters in accordance with bid number 2025-03-01 for a total contract amount of $322,865.00. I have a motion by the third and a second by the first. Is there any debate? Is there any? Well, that's not a point of view. Okay. The question is there any debate? Hearing none, you may cast your votes. Motion carries.
And that's resolution 4007. 4007.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, automatic reports. Chair will recognize the second ward.
Good evening, Mayor Clark, fellow Alderpersons, administration, and residents of the great city of Harvey. First, I want to wish a happy early Father's Day to all the fathers, grandfathers, mentors, and father figures in our community. Your strength, protection, and guidance do not go unnoticed. Proverbs 27 says, "The righteous man walks in his integrity. His children are blessed after him." Our city needs men who lead with integrity, love, and courage, especially in these trying times. As we celebrate our families, we must also acknowledge the financial challenges many residents are facing, particularly those raising children home for the summer. Since January of 2025, the city has approved several fee changes that affect everyday living. The municipal gas use tax was restructured, potentially increasing costs for heating and cooking gas. Credit card processing fees were added for paying water bills, permits, and city services online or by card. Ordinance 3501 was adopted, which allows automatic annual increases to city fees and fines based on inflation according to the Consumer Price Index. A $60 transfer stamp fee was added for all property sales effective April 7th, with a 3% convenience fee for digital transactions. These are just to name a few. Each of these adjustments was presented as a way to improve city revenue services, but the cumulative impact is significant, especially for working families and seniors on fixed incomes. That's why I strongly encourage residents to attend committee meetings led by your alderpersons. These meetings give you a chance to understand proposals early, raise concerns, and help shape decisions before they're finalized. We need transparency and equity in every step we take. Adding urgency to our situation, State Comptroller Susanna Mendoza continues to classify Harvey as being in critical financial condition, citing serious cash flow issues. This isn't just a financial concern, it's a call to act responsibly and collaboratively. And while we discuss finances, we must not lose sight of the lives behind the numbers. 11-year-old Willow shot here in Harvey, and the one whose foot was mauled by a dog. These tragedies underscore the urgent need for stronger public safety, accountability, and compassionate city response. To everyone in the Second Ward and across the Southland, thank you, gracias, shukran. Your support, advocacy, and presence make a difference. Let's continue to rise together. And we'll be having a second ward meeting this Wednesday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., 15446 South Lexington at Transformation Community United Methodist Church. Thank you.
Next, we have Third Ward.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see everyone here tonight, it really is. I love to see the room filled. When we're doing our meetings here to conduct business, we all get a packet. We used to get it like on a Friday. We get it a whole week ahead. That's the time we are supposed to read our packet, call to get answers to our questions we may have about it. When we come to meetings, we're to say yea or nay to what we agree on. If you don't agree with anything, just say no. These are meetings are not for the grandstanding and all of the things that happens in these meetings, or for us to be butchered up in here. We're doing our best with what we have. We always talk about financial responsibility. I know everybody's tired of us talking about what the last administration did. However, $165 million is a lot to chew up in one term, 2 terms. But like I always say, with all the monies that the businesses owe us, I wish all of you would take this time out that you come in here for this to go to those stores and shame them into giving us our money. See, that would be the first step to a movement to improve our community. Give us our money. We have a funeral home here, which we all know, funeral homes, everybody's gonna pay to bury their loved one. Anytime you don't have a funeral home paying you what they're supposed to pay you, but we could sit in here and grandstand about something that's not even as important as getting our money to help us get what we need. So I implore you all in, let's sit together to show us the money. Thank you, Harvey.
Excuse me, what are they supposed to pay?
They taxes, they property taxes. The taxes they haven't paid us in over 10 years. Over 10 years, so everybody acts like, yeah, I try to do 10, but they probably can't, you know, I understand sometimes I do, it will only take so much, a little bit at a time, because I don't think they understand who has taken our money. Who has our money, who won't give us our money. They want us to fix streets. We've been running the city with no money. We've been running the city with no money. Everything we've gotten that's been done here is through grant money. And everybody will say, why do we fix this street and not this street? You can't take this money from here and put over there. We all know that. And then, like I say, not only you people here, some of you people that's sorors, you know, because I always thought soror was sisterhood, that you're supposed to be trying to work together to improve your community in the summertime. We got a lot going on in the summertime. We can at least come together.
You should have told her not to say that word.
At least keep our kids safe.
Thank you.
She provoked that. She provoked it.
All right, everybody.
What sorrows got to do with it?
Can we please come to order so we can move on? It's greatly appreciated. Next up is the 6th Ward.
Thank you, Mayor.
Can you speak to your microphone, sir, so they can hear you?
Good afternoon, everybody. Citizens of the 6th Ward. I'd like to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to each one of you for coming out to today's meeting. Your continued involvement and concern for our community is what helps the 6th Ward strong and move forward. I'd like to take a moment to commend the Street and Sanitation Department for a great job that they've done cleaning and cutting overgrown lots throughout the ward. With this recent stretch of heavy rain, the job hasn't been easy. They've shown great commitment and diligence. And as we enter the summer season, I also would like to remind everyone that school-aged children are out of school. And please use extra caution while driving through our neighborhoods and our community. Kids are out playing, riding bikes, and enjoying their break. Let's do all our part to keep Additionally, I would like to inform you that we have completed our annual spring break across the board. And if you have any remaining bulk items of debris that needs to be picked up, do not place them in the street or in the alley, as they will not be collected. Instead, please contact me, and I will work and contact directly with the street department to provide a dumpster or appropriate solution. Once again, thank you for your continued cooperation and partnership. If you need to reach me for any reason, my contact information is area code 708-516-2276, and I am here to serve you. And thank you, and let's keep working together for a better, safe world. I also like to wish every man with the sound of my voice that's here in the city of Harvey Have, as well as the 6th Ward, a glorious Father's Day. You know, we put a lot of emphasis on Mother's Day, which they do deserve it, but it couldn't be a mother without a father. So, with that being said, I'd like to wish everybody.
Thank you. Next, we have Board Board.
Thank you, Mayor. My mic is everybody for coming out. I would like to first piggyback on the other responses of saying the most underrated holiday of the year, Father's Day.
Yep.
And the reason I can say it, because I'm a single parent, I'm raising my daughter and my son. And I know I've been a father, and I couldn't have been a father. My father had the best excuse in the world. He passed when I was 2 years old. That's the only excuse I can ever accept for my father. Nevertheless, I had a strong mother to raise me, even though she didn't approve of me being in politics at all. She told me to watch myself and to be careful. She still raised me to the point where I can be somebody and make a difference in somebody's life. So there's a lot of good fathers out there. We may not get the credit that we deserve, but if you're a father, you don't look at it. You're a survivor. You raise, you take care of the home. You don't look for anything. Only for the kids to grow up and get out on their own. Update for the grass in the fourth ward. You know, the grass is always the hardest time of the year. Well, in the beginning of the year, because it rains so much and the grass grows up and everything, but they are in the fourth ward. They are out there cutting and they are doing a good job. And I just want to commend them for that and let them know that. I just want to also, I want to wish a happy birthday. A happy 5-year-old birthday to Mr. Garver right there. If you can raise your hand, sir. Okay. I just wanted to just say that, and I just wanted to just commend him when I said 5 years old, because when you look at living life, you know, 20 years, they said 3 scores and a 10 at 7 years old. So you really, you know, really completed a real good accomplishment. So I just wanted to just acknowledge that. I quickly want to acknowledge Mr. and Mrs. Harris. I can't stop talking about them. Mr. Harris is 100 years old. Ms. Harris is 95 years old. They were in Philadelphia at a Masonic convention. The fire alarm went on off. They had to make it down 15 flights of stairs, and they made it down the stairs and made it down them safely. And they are still here. So amen for that. Got to mention them, and at the end, just teamwork. We can all find a way to get it together for the sake of our residents, because that's what we work for. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, and finally, we have the first ward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. And once again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there and all the role models. You know, I just want to say, I am the longest serving elected official on this board. And with that being said, I have to recap my first 8 years. Many of you know that I myself was threatened, harassed, even to the point that my employer was sent flyers, along with my colleagues, about unfavorable characteristics. I was contacted by the federal government, Cook County, and many of those media forces seeking a story. And I had a story to share. And I did share it. Not only did I, but all the aldermen, I believe, were contacted by these 3 outlets during my first 8 years as an elected official under a previous administration. Now, my last 6 years under this administration, under Mayor Clark, never once did the federal government or Cook County ever contact me about any story. And I will say, for the record, only one media outlet reached out to me in those 6 years seeking a story, but I didn't have a story to share. And trust me, if there was a story, I would be the first one to share it. I took an oath to uphold the laws and duties of an alderperson, to support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Illinois, and faithfully discharge these duties to the best of my ability. And I take that seriously. It's not subjective. It's not whether I choose to follow a law or a duty of an alderperson. I took an oath that I would in the state of Illinois and the U.S. Constitution. Therefore, I ask each and every one of you, before you hear a story, because you will hear them, check the facts, FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, you go to the clerk's office, and nothing else. I have nothing to hide or nothing to mislead anyone. Please give me a call, and my phone number is 708-596-7470.
Call me.
Thank you.
Put that in the microphone when you so we can make sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. My phone number is 708-596-7470.
Make sure y'all call me.
Thank you. Next we have public comment. Public comment is encouraged and appreciated. This is the only opportunity for the public to address the city council on agenda items and any other city-related business. In order to accomplish all business on the agenda and be respectful of everyone's time, council members will not engage in dialogue with individual members of the audience, and no immediate action will be taken on any public comment issue. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. No speaker may donate his or her time. Comments shall be courteous and respectful at all times. No person may use public comment for the purpose of campaign or advertisement. This is not a question and answer time. The council cannot engage in conversation with the public. Questions and concerns about operations should be addressed to the city staff during regular business hours. So, first we have up for public comment is Chanel Hooks, followed by, looks like Kathy King Waters.
Hello, Harvey. My name is Chanel Hooks. I am a newly elected Harvey Public Library trustee in 2023. Thank you for all those who voted for me. I'm not part of the divine knowledge, but the jab that's been taken.
Yep. Yep.
Alderman Smith, mind the business that happened, because that has nothing to do with you. Being in a sorority has nothing to do with what's going on in Harvard. You talk about these taxes, that's not none of your business. That's the county's business. We have no businesses. And about your last administration prior, you four decided for us not to have a grocery store. You all decided for us not to have streets done. You all decided for us not to have lights. All of that. Y'all did that. You four, yes y'all did. Y'all four did that. Y'all missed 18 meetings. He said that y'all was protesting. Where? Because y'all wasn't outside. Y'all wasn't up in here. Even if y'all was outside, y'all wasn't in here though. So you wasn't holding up your fiduciary duties to the people. The man came and was gonna give us a grocery store. He was gonna pay the back taxes and everything. Y'all said no. We were gonna get a Ricky Rockets. Y'all said no. Everything. Y'all said no to. Now look, like I said before, the hole or the ditch that you dug to cut off, you should have dug it for yourself. Because y'all laying right in and out. We ain't got jack nothing. Y'all built a 51-unit building for what? Can't feed the people. You can't even give the people medication. They don't have no pharmacy, no nothing here.
Wow.
So what did y'all accomplish last administration? Nothing. And then you talk about the 1 million, what 169 and what that got to do with that? 6 years now. 6 years. No treasurer's report. But y'all stay paying out all these lawsuits. You getting all this other stuff. You got these big screens and all that. Everybody driving cars and all this and that. But you're talking about the debt from last administration? Make it make sense.
It makes sense.
Show that money. That's all we want to see.
Thank you. Next is Kathy King Waters, followed by Missouri Irving.
Good afternoon, good evening actually. I'm with Reflexively Park, which is a LGBTQ education support and advocacy group. On April 28th, a Harvey resident was accused of being a pedophile and is a gay man. If those accusations were true in his job, the school where he was a mandated reporter, would have had to report him. He would have been charged and prosecuted if those charges were true. And it's irresponsible to perpetuate that kind of stereotype that has existed for eons about gay men. In February of 2025, Gallup poll released some stats. 9.3% of the U.S. population identifies as LGBTQ. 9.3% of Harvey is a big chunk of Harvey. 23% of Generation Z are up-and-comers, identifies as LGBTQ. When they see their leadership denigrating LGBTQ people, they're not going to want to stay here. They're not going to want to stay here after graduation. They're not going to want to buy houses. They're not going to want to open businesses. Without our young people, remember Whitney Houston says children are our future, our cities in the Southland are going to fold. They're going to fail. We need to make all people feel welcome in all of the South suburbs, because we know in the South suburbs there's not a lot of support for LGBTQ people. And I see a very diverse group in this room, and a very diverse group leading Harvey. Y'all know what stereotypes do. Y'all know the effects that stereotypes have, and nobody should be perpetuating them in the state. We need to come together, and we need to be the examples for our young people. So I hope that this august group will not fall for stereotypes, will not perpetuate stereotypes, and will not perpetuate rumors. And I thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you. Next is Zerk Irvin, followed by Cynthia Wilson.
Hello everybody, my name is Mazurk Irvin, former trustee of the Harvey Public Library. And wow, I'm disappointed. The waste. I am sick and tired of you all arresting Kobe Chapman over your violation of Robert's Rule of Order. Yep. I've never seen so many violations in all the days of my life. You just changed it to your Clark's Rules of Order. This is crazy. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what you're doing. All the lawsuits, all these people we're paying out. Eddie Winters, police chief, he started community policing, came here, tried to rally around the community. You got rid of him, now we're paying him out. Who is advising you on to do these things? It's not about winning. It's about what's right and what's wrong. And once you put that into your vocabulary about what's right and what's wrong, then we're going to really change things in the city of Harvey. I'm not up here to win. I'm up here to get what's right for my city. And I think that's what everybody else is here for too. We ain't at no dog race, okay? We ain't at no horse race. So you need to change the way that you look at things. All this personal stuff that's going on, you need to get rid of that. Because if she asks a question, there's a good reason why she's asking it. And I don't want to hear nothing about, you got this many days to take care of this before that. Apparently you all ain't answering her. If she's emailing you or calling you and the law firm, and where they at tonight? Where are they at tonight? You on your own, you by yourself this time. I don't want to see this stop. Grandstanding, Miss Smith, you're the worst one of all. You are the worst of them all. What is going on up in here? Shirley, you said somebody was contacting you and would question you and stuff. You're just as bad, okay? You voted to have her removed. This woman had surgery. And these policemen up in her tossing around here like she a rag doll. You don't know what pain she's feeling in her body. She ain't assaulted nobody. Y'all assaulted her. You more and him. It's got to get better than what it is. It's got to. The treasurer's report, we can't get a report. What's going on? At least tell us how much money that we have. It don't have to be down to the nickel penny. You can do better than what you're doing. This is not the way that you run a city. Okay, I expect more, because you're the oldest and been here the longest, you know better than everybody else. But to please him, to get that little $25,000 for the year to pay for your expenses, to shake your head, you know I know what I'm talking about. I'm not new in town. At one time, me and you were linked up together, but not no more. Not no more. The truth will set you free, okay? And that's all that I want. Always remember that, okay? Get them all Kobe Chapman and her mama too, all right?
Next we have Cynthia Wilson, followed by M. King Jr.
Hey, I'm Cynthia Wilson. My issue is not with Mr. Clark today. My issue is not with the Chief's office today. We're supposed to be speaking on the 18th. My issue is with my Alderperson.
Which one?
That's what my issue is. I called you on the phone and told you what was going on before I even talked to the chief, before I even talked to the mayor's office. I told you what was going on. You asked me, so what you want me to do? You don't come to my meeting, so what you want me to do? So I have to do something, you can do something to me? Then I asked you about the shooting that happened behind my house. You said I ain't the police. What you want me to do? And then you said you want to talk about Miss Kobe. Miss Kobe. Don't tell me about this lady. I don't know what this lady got going on. I never met this lady for 2 times in my life. And the second time I met this lady, she was picking up trash. 10 times you done picked up trash around your city. You need to step down, for real. It's not getting. It's not. You think you bigger than the program, baby? Well, you just a puppet on the string.
Next we have followed by Vernon Sykes.
Words of my mouth and meditation of my heart be acceptable when I say, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Lord, bring peace, love, and take away the hate and all the spiritual things that I have in it. Lord, guide us to a better way, Lord, and take all this get back, arrest, and all this stuff out of the city of Harvey. Lord, you said we cannot pray that we're evil. Our prayers are not answered, and we do things after we pray. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. Roles and responsibility of a municipal treasurer. A treasurer in Illinois holds a significant position within the local government, managing the financial affairs of the municipality. The responsibility are defined by the Illinois Municipal Code, which includes overseeing the collection, safeguarding, and disbursement of municipal funds. Treasurers ensure compliance with state laws such as the Local Government Debt Reform Act and maintain accurate financial records of transparency and accountability. Treasurers are also responsible for investment management under the Public Fund Investment Act, prioritizing safety, liquidity, and yield. They navigate property tax, working with the county officials to ensure timely and accurate tax billing. Their role requires a deep understanding of the property tax code and an implication for local revenue. In budget preparation, financial forecasting, treasurers collaborate with municipal officers to develop fiscal sound budgets. I'll read this again. In budget preparation and fiscal forecasting, treasurers collaborate with municipal officials to develop fiscal sound budgets. It involves analyzing revenue streams and identifying financial challenges, while staying informed about the changes in state and federal funding and legislative development. I tell you, this city is backward. What the problem is here, the treasurer can't make a progress or do anything because if the treasurer was able to do something, they would know what the reports are. They know the money coming in and money going out. Right now, we have, as the brother Missouri said, $25,000 allocated for each ward. And what does that mean, $25 for each ward? The question I'm going to ask you is, I said it last time, tell me what each alderperson is getting for this. Is each alderperson fairly getting the money? And I say this again, the treasurer, my suggestion, should be holding an American Express. Well, that alderperson gets the money, is seen as a report made, and as a document sent to the city hall and everybody else. But the bottom line is, we have a treasurer that's being mistreated. And we're being mistreated because our financial understanding of what's happening in Harvey and the money's being spent, and for whatever it is, we don't know what it is. And we still don't know what it is. Here's a police chief, and I love him. I love Mr. Winters. He set all kinds of programs up for us, citizen policing and all that. We had block captains and all that. That guy. The bottom line that I see, show me the money, and I won't say anything bad about you. But I'm not shading anybody like some older persons. Instead of giving a report, they're giving a shade. Let's be right.
Next is Vernon Turner, followed by, I'm not sure, but Amir is the last name.
Good evening. My name is Vernon Turner. Mayor Clark and your staff and department heads. I'd like to speak on normally you're having a weekend for the July 4th. It's on that 55th. The city of Harvey does a great job of cleaning up, but I think you need to put the signs out sooner because people might be on vacation at time. They might not be able to move their car unless they talk to their neighbors or something. And it'd be easier to have them know in advance. Also, we should have, when the staff report, at once a month, maybe break them up in half, not all of them be able to say first, and then they should have something to say. Last time, they were like, no report. There's got to be something going on in every department with something. Maybe there's 2 sentences that at least let us know that they're doing something that's for the city. And the minutes, we always say, no, old business, but nothing reported what was there, because I'm not coming every week. But the people that come are really the seniors of Harvey, most ones come, and they should be able to see what was discussed. Not they got to write word for word, but some highlights of what was discussed, where they don't have to repeat something that they weren't aware of. So it'd be better if they, and we need to be able to, this diversity communities going to reverse with the Mexicans and Africans. We need to bring them into the chambers because they trying to get political school districts and stuff like that. So we need to be some type of information to get out to them where they can be participating in the city of Harvey moving forward. And also I'd like to speak on public works. They do a great job. I think the staff is much more than we had before. Because I see 20 and 30 guys out there cleaning these lots, empty stuff, and they really do a hard job. And I don't know how they got a lot of tasks. Because I see a lot of highways and everything all over Harvey. I've been here since 69, that's 8 years old. And I've seen the good times and the bad times. But also, when you staff your reports, they need to get something. And one more thing ahead. Oh, when we need to get, maybe I have a suggestion where we can get young kids, like you could have a program where we have a scholarship for high school, couple of high schools, and all the 8th grades going to high school. You can do that fund by at a meeting and say $5 and give a raffle for $15 to whoever comes and spend $5 and have a chance to get a raffle ticket. And that money can go to the scholarship fund. And with my last time, or 15 seconds, I'll give it to the next person.
We have, thank you, Amir, followed by Ryan Wilson.
Good afternoon. I guess I want to start by saying my name is Amir A.H. Shakur Clear. I'm the president of Freedom First International. And we would like to make a statement. And I'm going to start by asking a question. What does Christopher Clark have to fear with accountability to the community? That is the question of the hour. Mr. Clark, is it sweetheart deals that have provided for your lifestyle? Good question. Have you dabbled in the financials of the city's accounting? What do you have to fear, Mr. Clark? When leadership stands outside of public interest, it is not leadership. We call it a tyrant. Tyrannical movements have things to hide. So I ask you the question again, what do you have to fear, Mr. Clark? The last time I came here, I addressed you, and I asked you very specific questions, and you still haven't changed your course of action. You should be ashamed of yourself as a black man who politically attacks a black female. Yeah. That is not leadership. Hello. That is not being a man. No. So I will no longer address you. What I will do is talk to the police officers in this room and say that the day that you become a political arm of the mayor's office is the day that you go wrong. You have fallen off of your lowly oath of office. We ask that you change your course because you can also stand in hope and be held accountable for your actions. We want the public to send a very loud and clear message at this point that the Harvey police are a political arm of the mayor's office. Let the public know, and that if once you stand in front of a police officer in Harvey, expect the worst every time. What I'm interested in at this point is any officer who is acting outside of public interest, please send us an email. Freedom First International @gmail.com. I'm going to say that again, freedomfirstinternational@gmail.com, or you can look us up. We're interested in indicting these officers. We're interested in working with the accountability boards and the state of Illinois to have these folks indicted. If you don't believe me, then check my record, because I've stood up against governors. I've stood up against fallen police officers. Take it to heart. The last thing that I want to say, Mr. Clark, is I hope you never forget the day when you bastardized your office.
Thank you. Item we have Ryan Wilson.
Okay, good evening, everyone. First of all, I'm wondering why the mayor was such a coward as to schedule a media interview at the same time as a press conference. We scheduled at 6 p.m. I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that I was discussing about his disgusting, perverted, incorrect, illegal allegations that were made on April 28th. Actually, that was the same night my older one was arrested. He said that I had inappropriate sexual something or other with my students when I taught for him, which is, like I said, disgusting. It's not right. He said that because he wanted to teach us a lesson, quote unquote, about allegations because we have no proof of things that he's done. Well, actually, we do. We still don't have any receipts. You can see all the people you've arrested for no reason. You can clearly see you're extorting businesses and churches. You get people fined all the time for retaliation. How can you be a city mayor and make such horrible allegations, you know? What's really sad is what actually happened at Thornton is that I was being bullied mercilessly for being a gay teacher. And administration didn't respond. So another thing I said is, well, all that's confidential. Now, I shared some of that information, but there's plenty I didn't share with Mr. Clark. How did Mr. Clark gain access to that confidential information about a District 205 employee and about minors in District 205? Does it maybe have something to do with someone that he knows very well in District 205 that I will not name? You can do your research. And Tyrone and Delaney, first of all, why are you laughing? You have been accused of sexually, violently going after women so many times, and it is not rumor, sir. Don't you dare laugh at me again. And you can't even look at me because you know it's true. And Delaney Smith, you work for the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services, and you throw out allegations, false allegations that I sexually went after a child. Delaney Smith, look at me in the face. You don't even have the guts, do you? Well, somebody better report her, because don't you think her boss should know that? I think that's pretty serious, especially since she's a mandated reporter. Finally, shame on all of you, it's Pride Month. I'll stand up for the LGBT black youth. I just went to a fashion show at Thornton High School, and they were there and they did a great job. Did you know the rates of suicide and homelessness are sky high amongst the black community, in the LGBT community? We are here. We live with you. We're your neighbors. We're your family. You cannot ignore us. These youth look to you, and you have failed. Shame on you.
Next we have departmental reports. We'll start off the city administrator and follow our reports on down.
All right.
My name is Sean Ellis, and I'm a deputy city administrator. In the absence of the city administrator, I read a report which speaks to full transparency about the state of our city and the work that's being conducted. To be completely honest with you, our city has never truly been removed from crisis mode. Since 2019, every step forward has been a part of an effort to not just remove, but to rebuild a government that was fundamentally broken. Let me remind you that at the very start of this administration, City Hall was raided by the FBI. Documents, computers, and other material were seized. These were the items the Fox administration did not account for. Beyond that, there was no real filing system in place, nothing was organized, nor was there any structure. Therefore, the past 6 years, day-to-day operations have been focused on putting out fires as they come, literally and figuratively. That's not how a city should run. But that's the reality that was inherited. I realize how difficult it may be to believe that a city can function without basic policies, procedures, and oversight. Unfortunately, that was our reality. Now, fast forward, we are committed to zeroing in on each department to identify areas that need improvement. As we uncover issues, we implement solutions that are sustainable and effective. By streamlining operations, then services are easy to access, consistent and efficient, both for our residents and our staff. Today, I'm pleased to announce that we are finalizing the audit of 2022. Once this is complete, a full report will be made available on our city's website for public review. Immediately after, we will begin the audit 2023. However, let me be clear, we do not expect the 2022 audit to be perfect, as it will reflect decisions and operations from 2021 at a time when many of our systems and processes we have now are not put in place. The benchmark is set for 2024 audit, which will be the first audit that gives us a real and accurate picture of how our current policies and procedures work. Additionally, in the first quarter of this year,
We apply for as many grants as we
Yeah,
could.
right there.
The work
Yeah, right there.
continues.
Standing
Our
up.
priority is to bring in external resources to support much needed improvements to our infrastructure.
And the first time.
Here are a few key updates. Streetlights. The assessment of streetlights along 147th Street is currently underway. We anticipate going out to bid within the next couple of months. Fire hydrant replacement. We received only one bid for this project, which requires us to go back to bid. Water meter replacement. We accepted the grant contract, and we're now able to move forward with this project. This is a major step in modernizing our utility services. Other major projects such as renovations along Broadway Avenue at 150th Street and 155th Street are currently in the design phase. These projects will take time, and we don't expect to see shovels in the ground until 2026. Rest assured, work is moving forward, and regular updates will be provided as we progress. Our mission is to rebuild this city with integrity, transparency, and a clear vision for the future. This is a long road, but we are making steady, meaningful progress. Thank you for your continued support and trust. This concludes my report.
Mayor, council members, and residents of the city of Harvey. I am here today to provide you with a comprehensive update on recent crime statistics and the cases handled by the Harvey Police Department during the month of May 2025. This report will also encompass the department's overall activities for the month. In May 2025, the Harvey Police Department responded to a total of 2,955 calls for service. Their efforts resulted in 50 misdemeanor arrests, 12 felony arrests, 123 moving and equipment violations, 8 vehicles that were towed, 73 reported accidents. I'm pleased to report that through the diligent, exceptional efforts by our investigations division, felony charges were approved for 2 significant criminal investigations during April. Case number 1, a domestic-related incident in 16940 South Halsted that some may know as the Motel 6. On May 2nd, 2025, at approximately 12:24 a.m., the Harvey Police Department investigators and officers responded to a domestic-related complaint at the Motel 6, located at that address. Upon arrival, an employee alerted officers to a male physically assaulting a naked female. Officers proceeded to the room where they overheard a female pleading for the male suspect to cease the assault and release her. After the occupants refused to open the door, the officers forced entry. Inside, they observed the naked female curled in a fetal position on the floor, while the naked male suspect stood over her. The male suspect was immediately taken into custody. The female victim was transported to Ingalls Hospital for treatment of her injuries. During the subsequent investigation, it was determined that the male suspect had forcibly dragged the female victim back to the motel room from the hallway after she had initially attempted to escape. The victim sustained a swollen eye and cheek, visible blood in her mouth, and multiple lacerations to her face. Detective Muhammad formally charged Mark Swanigan, a male born December 29, 1994, from Chicago with the following offenses: attempted murder, kidnapping, aggravated domestic battery, and unlawful restraint. All charges were reviewed and approved by the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. Case number 2. Aggravated domestic battery, 16629 Hill Avenue. On May 24, 2025, at approximately 4:26 a.m., Detective McDonald was called to investigate an aggravated domestic battery incident at that location. Upon arrival, officers located Selvin Martinez inside the residence with several stab wounds to his upper body. His girlfriend and initial suspect was located outside the residence. Mr. Martinez informed officers that he was stabbed following a dispute, and she was taken into custody. Following an extensive investigation, it was determined that the offender acted in self-defense during the incident. It stated that Mr. Martinez began strangling her after she refused to engage in sexual intercourse with him. Detectives also discovered that the victim had previously filed a domestic battery report against Mr. Martinez in 2024. The Assistant State's Attorney's Office reviewed the case and approved 1 count of aggravated domestic battery. The Harvey Police Department remains steadfast in its dedication to enhancing the public safety and the quality of life for our residents. We deeply value your continued support as we work to move this city forward. Thank you. Mayor, good evening, everybody. The Harvey Fire Department report for May, the department responded to 153 calls, 16 calls were fire related, 42 calls for EMS, 22 calls for good intention, 18 calls for hazard conditions, 45 calls for false alarm, and 9 calls were for service calls. We urge our residents to go on like Smart 911, create a medical profile, so when you have a medical emergency, you can dial 911, that information will be available for our dispatchers. So thank you, that's in my report.
Good evening, Mayor and council members and residents here. My name is Cesar Suarez. I'm the Economic Development Director for the city here. And my main responsibility is business development, planning and zoning, and also property sales. We have a lot of property here, and we also do a lot of that work here with planning and zoning. On the business development side, the city staff and council members went to the ICSC conference on May 18th and 20th, and we had a multitude of potential prospects are interested in the city. We're following up on Starbucks, Sonic, Steak and Shake, Choice Hotels, Cordova, Planet Fitness, and the rest. And mainly the key areas would be in the northeast and the southwest corners near the interstate. That's where the main interest lies, with attracting industry and retail. We also currently have about 8 Class A property tax applications, so we've reviewed them, and they'll be coming before the council in the coming months. With regard to planning and zoning, at the end of 2025, we received 58 zoning applications, clearances, year to date. For most of you know, before you can really locate in the city, you have to have zoning clearances, and so it takes time to really get through that process. And we have far more than we've ever had before. So that's out of the 58 that we had, 33 have been processed, with 32 approved, 1 denied, and then we have 25 remaining right now, and many more are coming along the way. We have received a special use permit for an area, and we're expecting to have that meeting as well with the Planning and Zoning Commission. With regard to property sales, we're tracking properties, and we also include both city properties and also other private properties that may be eligible for a judicial deed or a tax deed. So there's very opportunities out there to really convert and redevelop vacant lots, vacant properties. By identifying the property and submitting a letter of intent, you can do so online right now. Thus far, we have interest and activity on 182 properties. They include 104 have requested for potential sale, 31 have been approved for redevelopment, 28 are being purchased by MWRD for the transfer to the city, 9 properties have been sold, 7 are going to be returned to the city. We have denials of 2, and 1 property we are leasing. So most recently, on April 28, 2025, the City Council approved the sale of 60 East 155th Street to 2 Blue Crest Estates, a single-family home, and there's going to be an investment of $120,000 to renovate that vacant home. So we're excited about that. So we continue to prepare the commercial and industrial properties for sale. We own 10 commercial properties, 8 industrial properties, and we continually present them to interested parties. That is my report.
Good evening, elected officials, citizens. My name is Louis Wiggins. I'm reporting from the city of Harvey. Finance department continues to work efficiently, diligently, most importantly, quietly, to manage the city's finances in terms of making sure we're recording revenue properly and expenditures. We also working very hard to work within the limited means of the city. We talk about real estate tax collection. I think about 55% of what's actually billed, which does cost a tremendous cash crunch on the city's behalf. Also, we're paying pensions, exorbitant pensions to make up for pensions that really had not been properly funded, not just over the last 10 years, not just the last 20 years, but probably closer to the last 35 years. Continue with the limited resources we have. I think
Public Works Department has taken to task some of the major issues faced by the city. This has not been an easy feat. As Mr. Sedgwick discussed in the previous meetings, one of our strategic priorities is ensuring that all city employees receive the necessary training to excel in their current roles and to grow into future opportunities. Over the past several weeks, we've made meaningful progress by hosting our first chainsaw safety and operation training in conjunction with IDOT. We had an excellent turnout of about 19 attendees, including participants from several neighboring villages. This collaborative training strengthened individual safety practices, improved regional emergency preparedness, and promoted municipal cooperation, all which are key components in building a more skilled and resilient workforce. As part of our ongoing initiative to identify and document water service line materials, we continue to work with our residents. So far, we have surveyed and completed 91 in-home inspections. However, we still have a long way to go. As mentioned in council meetings prior, our pumping station team continues to provide efficient and timely service to meet the city's operational needs. Over the past 2 weeks, they have completed 332 work orders, which include but not limited meter reads, exchanges, turn-ons, shut-offs, and locates. As for our streets division, they continue to operate under a ward-by-ward strategy focused on infrastructure upgrades and neighborhood beautification. Despite various challenges, the team has shown a strong coordination and consistent progress. They installed fencing and barricading around 2 vacant lots at 166 and Finch. They filled over 50 potholes citywide, cleared over 200 vacant lots, over 200 vacant lots and properties, and boarded up 10 abandoned homes. On May 16, 2025, the Public Works Department, in collaboration with the Harvey Police Department and Building Departments, conducted a major team cleanup on 151st Street and Lexington. The initiative was in response to residents' concerns regarding small children entering a questionable abandoned property. To enhance safety and restore the area, the team worked together to remove debris, boarded up 4 abandoned homes, installed security cameras to monitor the daily activity. This project demonstrated our commitment to quick, effective responses to resident concerns and improving public safety. A citywide survey of our street signs has been completed. As a result, so far, 70 new signs have been installed, including stop signs and other traffic signs. We pre-made and scheduled installation to continue throughout the season. These efforts aim to enhance traffic visibility and promote safer roadways throughout the city. Thank you for all your continued dedication and teamwork. Let's stay focused and keep building a better earth.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council, and fellow residents. I am pleased to provide this monthly report on behalf of the Building and Inspectional Services Department. Our team has remained active and efficient, ensuring that permits, inspections, and business licenses are handled with diligence and timeliness, especially as we enter our peak season for rehabilitation and maintenance work. In the month of May, our department approved a total of 90 permits, making a strong start to our busiest season because of the favorable weather conditions. These permits include 20 roof permits, 10 solar permits, along with 10 rehab permits. Additionally, we approved the demolition of 2 residential properties due to structural concerns and safety issues. 14835 Ville Avenue and 15222 Loomis Avenue. These actions are part of our ongoing commitment to improve public safety. We are proud to report that 211 business licenses were approved in May, a sign of continued economy and creating opportunities for residents. Before I close, I want to take a moment to acknowledge something just as important as permits and inspections, how we treat each other as neighbors. Our work brings us into neighborhoods across the city. We sometimes see tension rise between neighbors, over property lines, maintenance issues, and misunderstandings. While our department will always do its part to enforce codes and mediate where necessary, many of these issues can be resolved through simple conversation and a bit of patience. Let's remember that this is our community. The success of Harvey depends not just on city services or officials, but on each of us making an effort to communicate, cooperate, and show mutual respect. Together we can continue to build not just better homes and businesses, but a stronger, more unified city. This concludes my report.
Director of Communications for the city. Our department is continuing to focus on communication and engagement. Last month, we hosted our second Community Solutions meeting of the year, where representatives from Cook County Animal Control and the Animal Cruelty Society were on hand for a discussion on animal control in the city. So we thank you to all who joined us. As many of you know, the city produces a monthly newsletter, which is called the Harvey Have. Thank you all for sharing your resounding, positive feedback via a survey that we recently created. So far, we've had about 50, the main critique is that the information doesn't come out on time. Getting the newsletter to the residents is an issue that we are working on as it concerns us.
Which one are we asking?